Welcome back to the channel, guys. Good morning. Today I want to talk about how to get safely through shore break with a windsurfer. And I think I'm qualified to talk about this because over the past few weeks here in Tarifa I've done plenty of mistakes myself. To give you a little bit of background, I come from flatwater windsurfing. I started windsurfing at a lake and then I did a lot of speed surfing, which is also at spots where there is no waves. So for me, this whole Tarifa experience has been pretty exciting because I've had to go through some massive shore breaks. At least for me they were massive, so around 2 meters peaks in the shore break. And with slalom gear it was not so super easy, so I thought I'd do a little video on how to avoid getting smashed by the waves in the shore break and safely get through it without breaking your gear. But first, let's start off the video with some examples of how not to do it. Okay, the first thing you want to do is you have to look at the waves and at the beach for a while and not just blindly head out without a plan. Because there will always be bigger sets and smaller sets, and of course you'll want to try to get out in the smaller sets. So for doing that, usually what I see is there's 3 or 4 big waves, and after that it's a little bit flatter again. So you'll want to wait for those 3 big waves, and once you see them pass and you see that there's not much coming in, you want to get out. But the mistake I did is I already went in the water near the shore break and put the gear into the water waiting for the waves to drop, and while doing that I got smashed by a wave, as you can see in this clip here. So you will want to avoid doing that by keeping the gear in your hands and keeping it out of the shore break as long as you can until you finally start, and then you put the gear quickly into the water and just start on the board. Because as soon as you are on the board, there's not going to happen too much to you, because the only thing that can happen to you is that the wave will push you back into the water. But while the wave crashes into you, your sail will be out of the water, so it will not get damaged. So just put the gear into the water when you see that the waves are dropping and you actually want to start, and not before that. So one thing you can do is keep the gear in your hands and just pull it up over the waves, which works in smaller waves. And when the waves are actually a lot bigger, you have to keep the gear on your head, the board and the sail, so that it stays out far enough from the water so that the waves cannot crash into the gear. Then once you're onto the gear, you can do 2 things to avoid getting smashed by the waves. The first thing, which really helped me, is you have to watch out that your board is pointing around 90 degrees to the waves, which of course gets a little bit harder if the wind angle is wrong. But if you give the waves a small angle of attack towards your board by keeping it 90 degrees to the waves, it will actually get a lot easier to get through the shore break. And then another thing you can do is when you see the white water is coming towards you, you actually want to put a little bit more weight onto your back foot so that the nose of the board is getting up a little bit, getting a little bit of lift, so it will go over the white water. And because if the white water gets onto your nose, it will push your board down and you will actually be more likely falling into the water if that happens. So try to put a little bit more pressure onto the back foot when you see the wave coming towards you. So then once you pass the white water, you will actually get to the point where the waves are breaking. And this really is the most dangerous part of getting out through the shore break, because if the wave is hollow and crashes onto you, you will most likely fall and your sail will get rolled by the waves, which on a wave sail is not so bad, but on a slalom sail the battens are really likely to break because they are light and not constructed for this kind of pressure. So you really want to avoid getting crashed by the shore break where the waves are hollow and breaking. And to avoid that, you really need to watch your timing. You need to watch where the waves are breaking and see that you're not at that point when the big waves are coming, but that you're at this point when the smaller waves are there. But of course, there's also a little bit of luck involved there. So yeah, you can get unlucky and just get crashed by a wave, but if you watch your timing, I think you can greatly improve your chances. And then when the wave actually hits you, one thing you can do to avoid getting pushed over by the wave is to bend your knees a lot more, because by doing that you will lower your center of gravity and you will be less likely to fall into the wave and stay on the board if you bend your knees. And before all of you guys are commenting again, oh, those waves are so tiny and you suck, I know, those waves were not so big, but I just thought I'd let you know some of the mistakes I did and why I got crushed even by these little waves, and it might help one or two of you. And the last few days I've actually gotten along with the waves a lot better, and we've had a swell of 1.7 meters the last few days, so it was a little bit difficult, but I managed to get through it by acting a little bit smarter and thinking about what I'm doing while heading out. So I hope this video helps one or two of you guys, especially those that don't grow up with waves where they start windsurfing. Okay, for today only a short video, so one last tip I can give you is make sure if you have the option to not go out at the beach where it is dead onshore, because you will be stuck a long time in the shore break before getting out, but rather try to get out somewhere where there's a little bit more side shore or side offshore wind, because this way you will actually get out sooner and pass the shore break instead of being stuck in there for a couple of minutes. Okay, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial, or let's call it review, of me getting through the shore break, and I'll see you in the next one where we'll get some speed action in the waves again. So stay tuned for that and subscribe if you'll not want to miss anything on this channel, and I'll see you in the next one, guys.